The traditional race fans don't like to see, they don't recognize what they're seeing.
The 2025 NASCAR season may be over, but the real fireworks are only just beginning. Hall of Famer Mark Martin has ignited a storm across the racing world, not with a car, but with his words. His blunt criticism of NASCAR's playoff format has left fans and insiders debating whether the sport has lost its way. As Kyle Larson celebrated his championship win, Mark Martin was already questioning the system that crowned him. In a recent conversation with Kenny Wallace, the legendary driver didn't hold back, blasting NASCAR's modern playoff setup and calling for a return to the sport's traditional roots. Martin's remarks have struck a nerve, reopening a debate about whether today's NASCAR still honors the spirit that built it, especially as rumors swirl about NASCAR considering a new 3-3-4 playoff format, a system in which the final 4 races determine the champion based on cumulative points. Martin called the proposal a mistake. I am all in with 36. I think we need to debate how you award the points. That's a debatable subject, but first you have to say, yes, we're going to go with a full season, Martin said.
I am all in with 36. I think we need to debate what the points pay, how you award the points.
Yeah.
That's a debatable subject. But first you have to say, yes, we're going to go with full season.
Still, he admitted reality might not align with his ideal vision. However, I know we're almost positive we can't get NASCAR to do that. And so I could get behind a 10-race chase format as a compromise, nothing less. If they come with this 3-3-4 business, it's not going to resonate with the fans, Martin explained.
However, I know we're almost positive we can't get NASCAR to do that. And so I could get behind a 10-race chase format as a compromise, nothing less.
In this potential new system, the playoff field would be whittled down through 3 rounds, the first 2 consisting of 3 races each, followed by a final round of 4 races to determine the championship. The idea is to extend the drama of the one-race finale across a longer period. But to Mark Martin, that misses the point of what racing is all about. We are not ball sports. We don't play. We shouldn't have playoffs. We don't have timed races. We don't have overtime. We've got a green-white checkered, or a race, Martin said firmly.
We are not ball sports. We don't play. We shouldn't have playoffs. We don't have timed races. We don't have overtime. We've got green-white checkered or...
He didn't stop there, doubling down on what he sees as the core problem with NASCAR's modern direction. A race-off instead of a playoff, trying to make it a ball sport is part of what has pissed off so many race fans. The traditional race fans don't like to see that. They don't recognize what they're seeing.
A race-off instead of a playoff, whatever kind of thing, but, trying to make it a ball sport is part of what has pissed off so many race fans. The traditional race fans don't like to see, they don't recognize what they're seeing.
Martin concluded, his passionate critique hits a nerve that's been building in NASCAR for over 2 decades. When NASCAR introduced its playoff system in 2004, then called the Chase for the Cup, the intent was to inject drama into the end of the season. Much like how football or baseball uses playoffs to crown a champion, NASCAR sought a structure that would make its final races more unpredictable, more exciting, and more likely to attract a younger audience. However, for fans and purists like Martin, that shift came at a cost. The emphasis moved away from season-long consistency and toward short-term performance. A driver who dominates all year could suddenly lose everything due to a mechanical failure or a crash in the final race. It has happened before, most notably with drivers like Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick. Harvick's 2020 season remains one of the clearest examples. He won 9 races and led the regular season standings comfortably, only to be eliminated before the final race. Martin himself lost a Cup Series title in 1990 under the old point system by a mere 26 points to Dale Earnhardt, so he understands heartbreak. But in his view, at least that heartbreak came through a full season battle, not a manufactured playoff twist. Martin's argument against the 3-3-4 format is also rooted in a deep understanding of what makes motorsport unique. Racing isn't a game with quarters or innings. There's no buzzer to beat, no shot clock to wind down. The elements that define success in motorsports are consistency, endurance, technical precision, and a deep understanding of strategy over time. A single race, or even a short run of races, doesn't always reflect a team's true performance. Adding more context to Martin's perspective is the broader discontent among fans. Social media threads and fan forums lit up in recent weeks with debates about whether the playoff system truly crowns the most deserving champion. Many longtime fans feel alienated by the constant changes and yearn for a return to the point system that defined NASCAR's golden years. Moreover, the 2025 championship race at Phoenix added fuel to the fire. Denny Hamlin's dominant performance was undone by a late race caution and a controversial pit strategy that forced him out of title contention. The same race saw Kyle Larson win the title without winning the event itself. Critics pointed to this as evidence that the current system emphasizes spectacle over substance. In many ways, Martin is voicing what many in the garage quietly believe. Drivers and team owners often toe the company line in public, unwilling to criticize the system that pays their bills. But Martin, now a retired Hall of Famer, has the freedom to speak openly, and he's doing so with precision. Even among NASCAR insiders, there is growing acknowledgement that something must give. Steve Phelps, NASCAR president, hinted earlier this year that the sport was exploring alternative competitive formats for the postseason. Though he didn't name specifics, the rumored 3-3-4 model has gained traction behind the scenes. Still, implementing such a change would be a massive undertaking. It would require a recalibration of the sport's marketing strategy, broadcast partnerships, and team expectations. More importantly, it would risk alienating a fan base that's already seen significant transformations over the past 2 decades, from the introduction of the car of tomorrow to the next-gen car, to race scheduling overhauls and street circuits. Mark Martin's credibility adds weight to his words. With 40 career Cup wins and a reputation for being one of the most respected drivers never to win a championship, Martin has long been seen as the conscience of the sport. His views reflect the sentiment of a fan-first perspective, not a corporate one. Interestingly, Martin is not alone in his criticism. Other legends have expressed similar frustrations. Richard Petty has repeatedly criticized the one-race finale, saying it undermines the value of a full season. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has floated ideas about returning to a hybrid format, combining the best of the old and new systems. Even current drivers like Denny Hamlin have made subtle comments hinting at dissatisfaction. The question then becomes, will NASCAR listen? There's no denying that the playoff system has produced some of the sport's most unforgettable moments. The 2011 tiebreaker between Tony Stewart and Carl Edwards, Joey Logano's late race surge in 2018, the rise of underdog stories like Ryan Blaney's title run in 2023. These are the moments NASCAR executives point to when defending the format. Martin's critique raises a hard question. Is NASCAR's playoff format the best way to find a champion, or just the best way to create drama? As the 2026 season nears, NASCAR faces a crossroads. Whatever direction it takes, Martin's steady, passionate voice will remain a guiding one. When he speaks, it isn't just opinion, it's a warning and a call to rediscover the sport's soul.